Jai Hind everyone. Welcome to my YouTube channel, which is Explore Yourselves, Banking and General Knowledge, etc. Jai Hind. Your daily boost, Tithi Nakshatra and important anniversaries, a spiritual and historical insight of 1st February 2025, Saturday, Bengali date, 18 Mag 1431. As per Benimadov Sil Ponjika, today's Tithi is Shukla Tritiya and up to 1419 hours, and after that Shukla Chaturthi. Today is Nakshatra, Satabhisha Nakshatra and up to 0659 hours, and after that Purva Bhadrapada Nakshatra. Today is 32nd day of the year. There are then 333 days left in 2025. Today is 5th Saturday of 2025. Today is Ganesh Jayanti. Ganesh Jayanti is observed as the birth anniversary of Lord Ganesh. As per Hindu calendar, it is observed on Shukla Chaturthi during Magh lunar month, and currently coincides with January and February months in Gregorian calendar. Ganesh Jayanti during Magh month is mainly observed in Maharashtra and coastal regions of Konkan. In most part of India, the birth anniversary of Lord Ganesh is observed during Bhadrapada month and known as Ganesh Chaturthi. Similar to Ganesh Chaturthi, Madhyana Vyapini Purva Vidya Chaturthi is considered as Ganesh Jayanti. It should be noted that Ganesh Chaturthi is one the most famous festivals in Maharashtra. However, it is not observed as the birth anniversary of Lord Ganesh anonymously. It is Ganesh Jayanti during Magh month, which is considered as the birth anniversary of Lord Ganesha. Ganesh Jayanti in Maharashtra is also known as Magha Shukla Chaturthi, Tilkund Chaturthi, and Bharat Chaturthi. Today is Indian Coast Guard Day. Indian Coast Guard is a maritime law enforcement and search and rescue agency of India with jurisdiction over its territorial waters, including its contiguous zone and exclusive economic zone. It was started on 1st February 1977 and formally established on 18th August 1978 by the Coast Guard Act 1978 of the Parliament of India. It operates under the Ministry of Defence. The ICG works in close cooperation with the Indian Navy, the Department of Fisheries, the Department of Revenue, Customs, and the Coastal Police of the State Police Forces and the Central Armed Police Forces. Today is Ice Cream for Breakfast Day. Ice Cream for Breakfast Day is an informal holiday celebrated on the first Saturday in February when some people deliberately eat ice cream for breakfast. Today is International Pisco Sour Day. Every year on the first Saturday in February, World Pisco Sour Day celebrates Peru's national drink, the Pisco Sour. The day also encourages learning more about Peruvian culture. Pisco is a white brandy made in Peru from muscat grapes. Brandy is the base liquor for the Pisco Sour. Today is National Baked Alaska Day. National Baked Alaska Day occurs annually on February 1 to celebrate and encourage everyone to treat themselves on the tasty dessert made of ice cream, sponge cake, and meringue. Baked Alaska was first called Alaska Florida because of its contrast in temperature when it was first invented. Today is World Hijab Day. World Hijab Day is an annual event founded by Najma Khan in 2013, taking place on 1st February each year in 140 countries worldwide. Its stated purpose is to encourage women of all religions and backgrounds to wear and experience the hijab for a day and to educate and spread awareness on why hijab is worn. Najma Khan said her goal was also to promote wider acceptance of hijab wearing as well as combating religious discrimination. Today is National Dark Chocolate Day. National Dark Chocolate Day is celebrated on February 1st. It's a day to celebrate the taste, health benefits, and history of dark chocolate. Today is National Get Up Day. National Get Up Day is celebrated on February 1st. It's a day to share stories of perseverance and to encourage people to get back up after falling. The day was founded in 2017 by the US Figure Skating Association and National Day Calendar. Today is National Serpent Day. National Serpent Day is celebrated on February 1st to honor snakes and serpents. The day is a chance to learn more about these fascinating reptiles and appreciate their role in the world. Today is International Face and Body Art Day. Every year on February 1st, the world celebrates International Face and Body Art Day. It is believed that face and body artist Kati Miyake established International Face and Body Art Day in 2012 to honor face and body painting, tattoos, piercings, performance art, and sacrification. Today is Conservatorship and Guardianship Abuse Awareness Day. Conservatorship and Guardianship Abuse Awareness Day is observed on February 1st. It is a day to raise awareness about the potential abuses of power that can occur in conservatorship and guardianship arrangements. Today is World Aspergillosis Day. World Aspergillosis Day is celebrated on February 1st every year. The day aims to increase awareness about aspergillosis, a fungal infection that affects the respiratory system. Today is death anniversary of Mr. Jyotindra Mohan Bagchi, 27th November 1878 to 1st February 1948. Along with Vibhuti Bandyopadhyay and Jivanananda Das, poet Jyotindra Mohan Bagchi is remembered as celebrating rural Bengal through his writing. He was considered a major poet of the post-Tagore era. He was born in a Jamindar family of Jamshedpur village in Noida district. He studied at Scottish Church College in Kolkata. He had taken up various jobs, including being secretary to Justice Saroda Charan Mitra. Bagchi contributed to many literary journals and edited a few, such as Manusi and Jamuna. Later, he was the owner editor of Purvachal. His poetry talked about rural Bengal and the small triumphs and tragedies that constitute everyday life of a people. In a moving manner, he wrote several volumes of poetry. He wrote the poem Kajla Didi, a poignant evocation of a childhood loss. It became a popular song, set to music by Sudhin Dasgupta and sung by Pratima Bandyopadhyay. Today is death anniversary of Miss Marga Folstich, 16th June 1915 to 1st February 1998. Marga Folstich was a German glass chemist. She worked for Scott AG for 44 years. During this time, she worked on more than 300 types of optical glasses. 40 patents were registered in her name. She was the first woman executive at Scott AG. Today is birth anniversary of Mr. Shaktipada Rajguru, 1st February 1922 to 12th June 2014. Shaktipada Rajguru was an Indian Bengali writer. Several of his novels have been adapted for the screen, including the Ritik Ghatak directed Meghe Dhaka Tara and the Shakti Samanto directed Omanus. His stories have been translated into Hindi, Tamil, and Malayalam. Today is death anniversary of Miss Kalpana Chawla, 17th March 1962 to 1st February 2003. Kalpana Chawla was an Indian American astronaut and aerospace engineer who was the first woman of Indian origin to fly to space. Chawla expressed an interest in aerospace engineering from an early age and took engineering classes at Dayal Singh College and Punjab Engineering College in India. She then traveled to the United States where she earned her MSc and PhD, becoming a naturalized United States citizen in the early 1990s. She first flew on Space Shuttle Columbia in 1997 as a mission specialist and robotic arm operator aboard SPS-87. Her role in the flight caused some controversy due to the failed deployment of the shuttle-pointed autonomous research tool for astronomy Spartan module. Chawla's second flight was in 2003 on STS-107, the final flight of Columbia. She was one of the seven crew members who died in the Space Shuttle Columbia disaster when the spacecraft disintegrated during its re-entry into the Earth's atmosphere on February 1, 2003. Chawla was posthumously awarded the Congressional Space Medal of Honor, the NASA Space Flight Medal, and the NASA Distinguished Service Medal. Several buildings, spacecraft, and extraterrestrial landmarks are named in her honor. Today is death anniversary of Mr. Werner Heisenberg, 5th December 1901 to 1st February 1976. Werner Karl Heisenberg was a German theoretical physicist, one of the main pioneers of the theory of quantum mechanics, and a principal scientist in the Nazi nuclear weapons program during World War II. He published his Umdiwtang paper in 1925, a major reinterpretation of old quantum theory. In the subsequent series of papers with Max Born and Pascual Jordan during the same year, his matrix formulation of quantum mechanics was substantially elaborated. He is known for the uncertainty principle, which he published in 1927. Heisenberg was awarded the 1932 Nobel Prize in Physics for the creation of quantum mechanics. Heisenberg also made contributions to the theories of the hydrodynamics of turbulent flows, the atomic nucleus, ferromagnetism, cosmic rays, and subatomic particles. He was also instrumental in planning the first West German nuclear reactor at Karlsruhe, together with a research reactor in Munich in 1957. Following World War II, he was appointed director of the Kaiser Wilhelm Institute for Physics, which soon thereafter was renamed as the Max Planck Institute for Physics. He was director of the institute until it was moved to Munich in 1958. He then became director of the Max Planck Institute for Physics and Astrophysics from 1960 to 1970. Heisenberg was also president of the German Research Council, chairman of the Commission for Atomic Physics, chairman of the Nuclear Physics Working Group, and president of the Alexander von Humboldt Foundation. Today is death anniversary of Miss Mary Wollstonecraft Shelley, 30th August 1797 to 1st February 1851. Mary Wollstonecraft Shelley was an English novelist who wrote the Gothic novel Frankenstein or the modern Prometheus 1818, which is considered an early example of science fiction. She also edited and promoted the works of her husband, the romantic poet and philosopher Percy Bysshe Shelley. Her father was the political philosopher William Godwin, and her mother was the philosopher and women's rights advocate Mary Wollstonecraft. Mary's mother died 11 days after giving birth to her. She was raised by her father, who provided her with a rich informal education, encouraging her to adhere to his own anarchist political theories. When she was 4, her father married a neighbor, Mary Jane Claremont, with whom Mary had a troubled relationship. In 1814, Mary began a romance with one of her father's political followers, Percy Bysshe Shelley, who was already married. Together with her stepsister Claire Claremont, she and Percy left for France and traveled through Europe. Upon their return to England, Mary was pregnant with Percy's child. Over the next 2 years, she and Percy faced ostracism, constant debt, and the death of their prematurely born daughter. They married in late 1816 after the suicide of Percy Shelley's wife, Harriet. In 1816, the couple and Mary's stepsister famously spent a summer with Lord Byron and John William Polidori near Geneva, Switzerland, where Shelley conceived the idea for her novel Frankenstein. The Shelleys left Britain in 1818 for Italy, where their second and third children died before Shelley gave birth to her last and only surviving child, Percy Florence Shelley. In 1822, her husband drowned when his sailboat sank during a storm near Viareggio. A year later, Shelley returned to England and from then on devoted herself to raising her son and her career as a professional author. The last decade of her life was dogged by illness, most likely caused by the brain tumor which killed her at the age of 53. Until the 1970s, Shelley was known mainly for her efforts to publish her husband's works and for her novel Frankenstein, which remains widely read and has inspired many theatrical and film adaptations. Recent scholarship was yielded a more comprehensive view of Shelley's achievements. Scholars have shown increasing interest in her literary output, particularly in her novels, which include the historical novels Valparga 1823 and Parkin Warbeck 1830, the apocalyptic novel The Last Man 1826, and her final two novels Lodore 1835 and Faulkner 1837. Studies of her lesser-known works such as the travel book Rambles in Germany and Italy 1844 and the biographical articles for Dionysius Lerner's Cabinet Cyclopedia 1829 to 1846 support the growing view that Shelley remained a political radical throughout her life. Shelley's works often argue that cooperation and sympathy, particularly as practiced by women in the family, were the ways to reform civil society. This view was a direct challenge to the individualistic romantic ethos promoted by Percy Shelley and the Enlightenment political theories articulated by her father William Godwin. Today is death anniversary of Mr. Clinton Joseph Davison, 22nd October 1881 to 1st February 1958. Clinton Joseph Davison was an American physicist who won the 1937 Nobel Prize in Physics for his discovery of electron diffraction in the famous Davison-Garmer experiment. Davison shared the Nobel Prize with George Paget Thomson, who independently discovered electron diffraction at about the same time as Davison. Today is death anniversary of Mr. George Hoyt Whipple, 28th August 1878 to 1st February 1976. George Hoyt Whipple was an American physician, pathologist, biomedical researcher, and medical school educator and administrator. Whipple shared the Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine in 1934 with George Richards Minot and William Perry Murphy for the discoveries concerning liver therapy in cases of anemia. Makes Whipple the first of several Nobel laureates affiliated with the University of Rochester. Today is death anniversary of Miss Maria Wisława Anna Szymborska, 2nd July 1923 to 1st February 2012. Maria Wisława Anna Szymborska was a Polish poet, essayist, translator, and recipient of the 1996 Nobel Prize in Literature. Born in Poland, now part of Kornik in west central Poland, resided in Krakow until the end of her life. In Poland, Szymborska's books have reached sales rivaling prominent prose authors, though she wrote in a poem, some like poetry, that perhaps two in a thousand people like poetry. Szymborska was awarded the 1996 Nobel Prize in Literature for poetry that, with ironic precision, allows the historical and biological context to come to light in fragments of human reality. She became better known internationally as a result. Her work has been translated into many European languages as well as into Arabic, Hebrew, Japanese, Persian, and Chinese. Today is death anniversary of Miss Alva Reimar Myrdal, 31st January 1902 to 1st February 1986. Alva Myrdal was a Swedish sociologist, diplomat, and politician. She was a prominent leader of the disarmament movement. She, along with Alfonso Garcia Robles, received the Nobel Peace Prize in 1982. She married Gunnar Myrdal in 1924, received the Nobel Memorial Prize in Economic Sciences in 1974, making them the fourth ever married couple to have won Nobel Prizes, and the first to win independent of each other, versus a shared Nobel Prize by scientist spouses. Today is birth anniversary of Mr. Emilio Gino Segre, 1st February 1905 to 22nd April 1989. Emilio Gino Segre was an Italian and naturalized American physicist and Nobel laureate who discovered the elements technetium and astatine and the antiproton, a subatomic antiparticle, for which he was awarded the Nobel Prize in Physics in 1959 along with Owen Chamberlain. Born in Tivoli near Rome, Segre studied engineering at the University of Rome, La Sapienza, before taking up physics in 1927. Segre was appointed assistant professor of physics at the University of Rome in 1932 and worked there until 1936, becoming one of the Via Panisperna boys. From 1936 to 1938, he was director of the physics laboratory at the University of Palermo. After a visit to Ernest O. Lawrence's Berkeley Radiation Laboratory, he was sent a molybdenum strip from the laboratory's cyclotron accelerator in 1937, which was emitting anomalous forms of radioactivity. Using careful chemical and theoretical analysis, Segre was able to prove that some of the radiation was being produced by previously unknown element named technetium, the first artificially synthesized chemical element that does not occur in nature. In 1938, while Segre was visiting the Berkeley Radiation Laboratory, Benito Mussolini's fascist government passed anti-Semitic laws banning Jews from university positions. As a Jew, Segre was rendered an indefinite immigrant. At the Berkeley Radiation Lab, Lawrence offered him an underpaid job as a research assistant. There, Segre helped discover the element astatine and the isotope plutonium-239, which was later used to make the Fat Man nuclear bomb dropped on Nagasaki. From 1943 to 1946, he worked at the Los Alamos National Laboratory as a group leader for the Manhattan Project. Found in April 1944 that Thin Man, the proposed plutonium gun-type nuclear weapon, would not work due to the presence of plutonium-240 impurities. In 1944, he became a naturalized citizen of the United States. On his return to Berkeley in 1946, he became a professor of physics and of history of science, serving until 1972. Segre and Owen Chamberlain co-headed a research group at the Lawrence Radiation Laboratory that discovered the antiproton, for which the two shared the 1959 Nobel Prize in Physics. Segre was an active photographer who took many pictures documenting events and people in the history of modern science, which were donated to the American Institute of Physics after his death. The American Institute of Physics named its photographic archives of physics history in his honor. Today is birth anniversary of Mr. Roger White TCN. 1st February 1952 to 24th August 2016. Roger Yamchian TCN was an American biochemist. He was a professor of chemistry and biochemistry at the University of California, San Diego, and was awarded the Nobel Prize in Chemistry in 2008 for his discovery and development of the green fluorescent protein. In collaboration with organic chemist Osamu Shimura and neurobiologist Martin Chalfie, TCN was also a pioneer of calcium imaging. Thank you very much for your patience. Request for like, share and subscribe.